It's unbelievable when you speak to any father, the biggest wish for them that should their children die because of starvation, should their children be murdered and killed because of all the drones killing people seeking aid, the only wish they have is that they are able to bury their children. It's unbelievable. The evil of this, the evilness of this is unbelievable. And you tell me this is about Hamas? And you tell me this is about Israel's security? And you tell me this is about making this region sits on its feet again? And you tell me this is about real cooperation and integration? No.
Well, let's speak now to Husam Zomlot. He is the head of the Palestinian mission in the UK. So if Britain recognises Palestinian statehood, he would be the ambassador, and previously head of the PLO general delegation to the US. And you're speaking to us now from Ramallah in the West Bank. So we're really grateful for you to find the time. Look, we've heard in the past 24, 48 hours that Netanyahu's latest plan is to take over all of Gaza. What does that mean? What will it do?
That means what we have been telling and warning the world since October 8th, that Israel will target not Hamas, will target not any specific group, but will target the Palestinian people. And this is exactly what has been happening. And this latest episode of Israel wanting to retake the entire Gaza is just another confirmation that the plan is simple and straightforward. It's how this whole situation started and how Israel is pressing ahead with it, which is depopulation, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. And I don't need to list for you how Israel tried the mass killing in Gaza, and then it shifted to mass destruction, not just lives, but livelihoods, to make sure that people have no infrastructure, no hospitals, no schools, no water, no sanitations, no nothing. And then now mass starvation. All is tailored to geared towards the depopulation of Gaza. And this whole idea of a military retake of Gaza is to implement that plan.
Do you think that anyone can act as a brake on what Netanyahu does? Could Donald Trump say, no, this is too far, you can't do this, or Europe or anyone else?
Indeed. And that is exactly the one lesson we learned after the horrors of the Second World War, that there is something called the global order, the post-World War II rules-based global order, not just the US, but the rest of the world. And we have conventions, we have rules, and we have responsibilities by contracting parties of the international system. This includes an immediate dispatching of international peacekeeping forces to protect children, to feed families, to make sure that genocide never happens again, never again. That's why we built the United Nations, and that's why we came together in the 40s. So short of that, the international law is very clear. We at least must immediately stop providing any actor in the international system that is committing war crimes and crimes against humanity and genocide and mass murder, and of course policies of collective punishment and ethnic cleansing. We must stop providing them with the tools to do so, which is arms embargo immediately. So this is, I'm describing to you, John, the only way to enforce the international will on Israel is by collective action by the international community to stop him.
So that's my follow-up question. You said, yes, the international order can do this. Do you see the international order, and particularly the United States, as willing to do this?
Well, it was at one point, and you may remember that it was President Trump and the US that enforced a ceasefire in January. And it was celebrated worldwide, supported worldwide, and supported by us as well. That saw the exchange of hostages, the release of hostages. It saw the beginning of bringing life back to Gaza. And that's exactly what Netanyahu didn't want, according to the plan we started describing. And he breached that ceasefire. That was the third ceasefire that was breached. So answering your question, yes, if the US wishes to do so, the US would enforce and force Netanyahu to a ceasefire.
Mr. Zomlot, the position of the Israeli government and Netanyahu as we now know, is to say that they want to continue the war until such time as Hamas has been destroyed, saying that Hamas still poses a significant threat to Israel. What is your understanding of the current capabilities of Hamas? What is left of Hamas as a military force?
No, the question is what is left of the Palestinian people, my friend. This is targeting the Hamas has been a doctrine by Israel for the last 22 months, and it's not supported by facts on the ground. Facts on the ground confirms all through the last almost 2 years, Israel is targeting the Palestinian people. This is absolutely, bluntly clear, and therefore they will not stop unless and until the ideologues, the fanatics in that government, and many of them, including Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, do what they say. And we need to listen to what they say from the beginning for 22 months. First, they say in Gaza there are no innocent people, there are no children. All of them are human animals and must be targeted. Second, they say that the Palestinian people must leave, and we must resettle Gaza and build Jewish settlements in Gaza. They're doing it. So this is the real plan. This is the real plan that they have, and this is what is unfolding in front of us. And they failed to do so via the mass murder of more than 60,000 innocent people, mostly women and children. They failed to do so via the vast destruction of Gaza. 90% of Gaza has been completely decimated. 90%. But now they are using mass starvation against children.
Well, I was going to ask you about the situation with regards to food. The Israeli government say that they are allowing more food in than they were before. They claim, therefore, that the situation should be improved in terms of people's needs with regards to food in Gaza. What is your understanding of the current situation in Gaza with regards to food?
I don't have words for this to describe the situation in Gaza. This is unprecedented in human history. It's as simple as that. And therefore, we don't have terminology for it. It's a complex situation of mass destruction, mass starvation, of course, mass murder. It's a genocide, and complicated with a plan of ethnic cleansing. So I don't know, how do you what term or what terminology should we be using? Just follow the UN reports, please. Follow what the world is saying right now. Tens of thousands of Palestinian children now are at the brink of famine and starvation. The situation is simply denting our humanity before it dents our understanding of how the world should be functioning. And I am originally from Gaza. I was born in Gaza, and I'm on the phone. And what I hear, John and Louis, what I hear from our people, from my family, from our friends, from my neighbors, is simply beyond description, beyond my own comprehension, not only as an ambassador, but as a father. It's unbelievable when you speak to any father, the biggest wish for them that should their children die because of starvation, should their children be murdered and killed because of all the drones killing people seeking aid, the only wish they have is that they are able to bury their children. It's unbelievable. The evilness of this is unbelievable. And you tell me this is about Hamas, and you tell me this is about Israel's security, and you tell me this is about making this region sits on its feet again, and you tell me this is about real cooperation and integration? No, this is a zero sum. This is the culture of impunity that Israel has enjoyed for a long time, and that's why the international community, including the UK, is responsible for where we are today, how we got into this situation. And this is indeed about also a culture of supremacy in Israel, particularly among the current Israeli government and cabinet members. Supremacy, sense of entitlement, that they can do whatever they wish to do. The dehumanization they have managed to create in the heads of the many Israelis and the soldiers, that Palestinians can just be killed and there would be no consequences. So we are today at a situation where we have to present a different path. And that's why we are working with the UK government. We are working with the rest of the international community. We are working with our Arab neighbors to go in a different direction than that of Netanyahu and the current Israeli leadership.
I just want to take you back to Lewis's question, though, because it is relevant, about what is the state of Hamas today. Because Hamas launched the attacks on October the 7th, which traumatized, the Israeli population and many people around the world by the brutality of what happened. And the justification for what Israel is doing, at least in the public prints, is to destroy Hamas so that it ceases to be a political and military threat to Israel. And so I just do think it is a fair question to ask you, what is your assessment of where Hamas is now?
I don't know, because I simply have no answer to that question. I hear Israeli officials keep saying that they have killed 30,000 leaders and members of Hamas in Gaza, and according to their assessment, that's almost the majority of the membership of Hamas, both at the political and at the military level. And I know Gaza has been completely destroyed, completely. Whatever groups in Gaza are, completely. Didn't you see some of the footage yesterday from people who flew Jordanian aircraft?
I saw that, yeah.
Dropping it. It's a wasteland.
Yes,
it's a wasteland. So this is the argument. The argument is Israel really targeting Hamas? Is it? Okay, I am sitting, you know where I'm sitting? I'm sitting in the West Bank, in the occupied West Bank. I've been here for a few days. I've gone around. What is happening in the West Bank is not less existentially threatening to the Palestinian people. While in Gaza, it's the army that is committing the genocide on our people, the Israeli army. Here, it's the army and the settler militias. They are terrorists. They're going all over, every village, every town, every locality around me right now. They burn villages, they burn homes, cars, they kill people with full immunity, including American citizens only the last couple of weeks. So this isn't just about Hamas. This is about an agenda for this Israeli government that wants to completely and utterly displace the Palestinian people and replace the Palestinian people in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, and wherever we are. That's the bottom line. And they have been trying this for 77 years, John and Louise. 77 years relentlessly. They did not stop one day. It's just the last chapter has been exposed to the world in such a way that has created this international outcry and sympathy that it has become absolutely, undoubtedly clear that this is Israel's endgame.
You mentioned the international response and the UK's response in particular. You'll be aware, of course, that the Prime Minister Keir Starmer has said that he will recognise Palestinian statehood, but only conditionally, depending on what happens with Israel and Hamas in September in time for the UN General Assembly. What did you make of his proposals?
Well, it's long overdue. The recognition of the UK, of the state of Palestine, is truly is too late. Actually, it is late, never too late. It is about the inalienable right of the Palestinian people. This is very simple. It's about the Palestinian people. This is not about any group. It's about our right as a people to self-determination. And there is a historic part of that, because Britain has a historic and moral responsibility towards the Palestinian people because of the Balfour Declaration promising our land without consulting us. And guess what? Canceling us as a people 108 years ago. And what people? The people of Palestine. I mean, the cradle of civilizations, the birthplace of Christianity. At the time of the Balfour Declaration, we were turned into non-Jewish minorities. Can you believe, John and Louise, how we were cancelled by the great power of the time, Great Britain? And at the time, we were 96% of the population, owning 98% of the properties. And all of a sudden, we are non-existent. We are defined as non-Jewish minorities, only having religious and civil rights, not collective, not national rights. And therefore, a UK recognition has a very specific symbolism and meaning. But it also has practical consequences, which is going into a direction that the UK and the rest of the world has endorsed for decades.
Sure, and critics, both within the UK and indeed in Israel, not least Benjamin Netanyahu, but others in Britain as well, have argued that what Keir Starmer is doing in recognising Palestinian statehood in this way is to reward Hamas. Hamas indeed have welcomed the move. What do you make of that argument? Is that a concern that you share?
That's nonsense. Nonsense whatsoever. Recognition is not a reward. Recognition is not a punishment. Recognition is not a gift. Recognition is not a favor. It is the absolute birthright of the Palestinian people, and the lack of recognition for so many decades is exactly what led us to this situation now. The lack of leadership in the part of the UK for all this time has led us to this. Recognition is primarily to make sure that there are two people live on their land, that they have their independence and sovereignty recognized by the world. And the UK for so many years and decades have been giving lip service to this. This is the first time the UK takes a meaningful step towards a political resolution, towards a settlement that will see this region finally embrace its potential, and this region again playing the role of a bridge between East and West. This isn't about a group. This is about our people that have been under the most historic injustice history has seen. We have been wronged for a long time, John and Louise. Yeah. Really, by the UK in the first place. So I'm sorry, those who argue this case just wants the conflict to continue. They want the suffering to continue. They want groups to evolve in the future. What we want, because of the recognition and via the recognition, is peace based on justice, is the recognition of the peoples of Palestine and right to a different future and to statehood.
All right. So last week we also saw the Arab League issue a statement at the UN calling for Hamas to disarm and to surrender political control. If that happens, and if you were to get behind that, do you support that? And doesn't that undercut anything that the Israeli government can then do in the area? Would it help for Hamas to disarm and get the hell out of Gaza?
This is a Palestinian-Arab discussion for a long time, and there is a Palestinian dialogue happening a long time. So, of course, we want to see a Palestinian government, a legitimate government that is
is Hamas a legitimate government?
That is providing for the Palestinian government is made of technocrats. It has no Hamas in it. It has no Fatah in it. It has no political representation in it. It is made of professional people from all over the international system, including the UN system, very capable people to be able to take us into a different direction and provide for our people and start the rebuilding and the reconstruction. So no, Hamas is not in that government. We have an agreement that we will move swiftly towards rebuilding with the help of the region and the international community, and we will be convening elections, and in the election all have to commit to the commitments of the PLO and the commitments of the Palestinian legitimate institutions.
Husam Zomlot, we're grateful to you. Thank you very much indeed.
You're most welcome.
The News Agents. This is a Global Player original podcast.